Sports Cash Crew, what it do? It's your boy Dub. I got my man Candy Ken's Chocolate Bar. I put respect on your name, and I got my man Mr. Mo Better himself, Jigaboo. What up, fellas? How y'all feeling, man?
What up? What up? What up?
Hey man, RG3 just got in trouble for that terminology. Be careful now.
Oh, my fault. let me keep it Sports Cash rated. Y'all see the lights. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, man.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all of that stuff y'all into, man. Let's get into this. Let's get into this show.
Y'all into.
Let's get it. Oh, Kyrie, whatever you do too, my man. Let's get it.
Wow.
Let's get into this show though, fellas. Let's get into this show.
Sir.
First things first, man. Actually, for real. First things first. Rest in peace to a Steelers great, the immaculate receptor, Franco Harris, 1950 to 2022. Apparently, he died suddenly. I guess everything seemed to be going well, so people say. And just found out this morning that he was no longer. And ironically, they're retiring his jersey this weekend. It's the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception this weekend as well. So it was going to be a big weekend for him, his family, and the nation as a whole. But I guess there's going to be some extra emotion a part of it.
Right.
So, from Sports Cash Crew, I'll go ahead and speak for all of us. Rest easy, Franco, and to his family. Blessings to them.
And condolences.
Yes, sir. But since we're in Pennsylvania, let's get to it, man. To the Philly boys. Jalen Hurts and the Philly boys. Jalen is hurt.
He's hurt.
Right. Well, Kendrick would say Jalen Hurts himself.
Yeah. Basically,
I don't know if he hurt himself, but that shoulder, that throwing shoulder, that weapon of mass destruction has been incapacitated. And for how many is he missing? Several weeks, or is it just?
They said I guess it's not terribly bad because they said he might even play on Saturday against Dallas.
Yeah,
but you do that at a risk.
Right,
I wouldn't do it.
Further injury.
Well, they want to do it because they trying to lock up the number one seed. They win this game, and the number one seed is locked up. So I think that's their thinking behind it. But I mean, so Jig, you said you wouldn't do it. You would be satisfied with Gardner Minshew and hope that you could just still lock up that number one seed.
Yeah, for sure, man. Look, I saw the play where he got hurt, and I was like, "Yo, he's hurt." But the thing kept going. I was like, "Nah, he's hurt," because the lineman fell on him, and he fell on that right shoulder and smushed him. I was like, "Yeah, that's not gonna be good." And then it came out like, I was like, I told y'all, man. I sit him out. Look, Minshew. I like Minshew when he was in Jacksonville.
Right.
Yeah.
He's won NFL games, and we're looking at this Eagles roster. They got a roster. They need somebody back there who's going to, do what needs to be done. They don't need
right. And I think he'll be able to do it. They have weapons all over the field.
Exactly.
A great defense, and they're playing Dallas's defense. Now the front is decent. The DBs is trash, so and the receivers they got are great. So I think they'll be fine with Minshew starting this week.
Right.
And do you feel the same?
No, 100%. I don't think there's no real reason to try to rush it, because if he gets hurt even more, then you jeopardize going forward into the playoffs, and you're definitely going to the playoffs. I mean, if he's good enough to maybe play, let's go ahead and one game is not going to hurt them in a position where they're risking too much for that number one seed still. And again, you playing Dallas, you know what I'm saying? They ain't been world beaters the last 6-7 weeks, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to be in the game. You don't need to worry about. I think you just focus on what's ahead of you. Focus on tomorrow, as in the playoffs. That's bound to happen. You want to keep that home field. Make this the best type of trip for Jalen as possible. I think some people are worried about what it's going to look like for him and his MVP nod. But I mean, hey man, they got bigger fish to fry if you're Philadelphia right now.
Right.
looking like.
What y'all think it does to so basically I was having a conversation with Vlad the other day and we were talking about the MVP. And of course, Jalen at the time was like the front runner. Personally, I did not think, and I wasn't even trying to hate on him just because I don't like Philly or nothing. But I genuinely felt like I could put in a lot of quarterbacks in that same system, and a lot of them will be pretty successful. Like, but I can't replace Patrick Mahomes with just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Or that kind of vibe. So I was like, and this I feel like might make my point depending on how Gardner Minshew plays. If he
I
plays
think there's a very strong possibility. Like if Gardner Minshew comes in and he does something like, I don't know, 17 for 25, 250 yards, then it's like, oh, 2 touchdowns. It's like, all right, they're just good. You know what I'm saying? The team is good.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think that takes away from what Jalen has done thus far. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, maybe you could put somebody else in that situation and they could run off 13, 14 games the same, but Jalen has done that. So I don't think that plays. To me, it shouldn't play anything. I think the MVP should be Josh Allen because that man, he's leading them in passing yards and rushing yards right now.
Both. Both of them.
I don't know, but to me, are you most valuable if anybody can do it? Like if we think, I mean, I get it that nobody else has got. Like I think Jalen Hurts is definitely most improved. Like I ain't see that coming. However, like if I plugged in Justin Fields to that offense, I don't think he'd be somewhat as successful. Or if I plugged in, if I feel like I could plug in a plethora of guys.
I don't disagree with you, right? But I say this, like, let's look at what the Patriots had for a long time during Brady's tenure, right? They had Matt Castle come in, and that guy went, what 10 of 6 or something like that. All those, when Tom Brady was suspended for that little bit, they had all those, Jimmy Garoppolo came in and looked good. All these other guys came in and looked, and that's great for those guys, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing that really mattered at the end of the day was Tom Brady doing it consistently. He had to be on the field to make stuff happen. And then there's situations where it's like, man, other guys might not have made that decision. Jalen he's the Eagles quarterback, right? Missing one game, regardless win or lose, especially regardless if they win or not, it doesn't take away from the fact that he's actually thrown these passes. Right. He's made these connections. He's won these games. You know what I'm saying? He's led them the way that he's led them. I don't think just because somebody else could do it, because hell, I can name a whole lot of guys who are starting QBs that can't do it. I don't think you can put Baker Mayfield in there. I don't think you can put Matt Ryan in there.
You know what's funny? You and Vlad, y'all fight all the time, but you really just said exactly what he said. I think you guys are a beautiful couple. But like Vlad literally, he brought out the Patriots quarterbacks too with the Tom Brady thing. And I was like, the funny part is for everybody, I guess that's always hated on Brady, I guess you could say, it was that argument exactly. It was the fact that, man, maybe his system works so well because we saw Castle have some success. We saw Brissett, Garoppolo have some success. Right. So,
everybody.
Like, so it's like that same conversation is kind of translated. So, of course, Brady had his accolades, but for those that want to, I guess,
nitpick?
Yeah, those that want to
scrutinize. Who want to scrutinize.
Yeah, those that want to scrutinize it, that's the exact argument. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, there's a level of fairness that it is fair to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm not gonna let this one game or 3 games from Garoppolo or one season from Matt Castle tarnish an entire season or several seasons in that, depending on which situation we're talking about. I think Jalen has been. Like last year, Jalen was in that same system, and I mean, he had some.
That's why he's most improved. That man.
This is the first year or second? No, this second year.
With Sirianni is the second year, I think.
This second year.
I mean, the only thing that changed on offense was they added AJ. I mean, it's a big deal, but he still had to figure it out. He still had to adjust. He still had to get the chemistry. He put in a lot of work to become. Because look at Jalen last year. Most improved and most valuable because they're the number 1 team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to close out on that, would I give him most valuable? No, but I mean, but it's just because of that. You got 2 number 1 receivers.
Again, my vote was for Josh Allen. I said my joint the other day when Hanukkah started. I said my name.
when Hanukkah started.
Josh Allen.
All right with the silliness, yo. But we had some funny games, I guess.
Some more silliness, if I might.
Like I don't know how to describe what this past week of football was. There was a lot of controversy.
Buffoonery.
There was a lot of buffoonery. But we're gonna start on Saturday. Ken's, your Indianapolis Falcons.
We talking about
Matt Ryan.
We talking about with Jeff Saturday, head coach Jeff Saturday. Perfect. So somehow, some way, the terrible 5-7-1 Colts found a way to go up 33 points in the first half.
33 to zip, bro.
Against was it the
Vikings?
The Vikings,
the number 2 rated Vikings.
Have First Cousins looking like a job, okay? Looking like it was not looking good. Like people are already questioning the Vikings, but granted, they got a lot of help from the defense. The defense made some crazy plays. They was returning things. They was getting turnovers. The defense was all over the Vikings' head. But come that second quarter,
First Cousins.
Yo, let me pause you real quick. They said there was a quote by Patrick Peterson. He said, "Y'all, all we need is 5 touchdowns." Okay.
Good. It worked.
That's all we need. And we got 2 quarters to get it.
2 quarters to get it.
That's enough time.
Clearly, that's plenty of time. That was a debacle of debacles, bro.
Mass proportions, yes.
Of mass proportions. And, I know, Ken's, you don't want to hear it, but unfortunately...
The truth is the truth.
Matthew Ryan has been a part of 2 of the most... this is the biggest comeback ever, and obviously the worst being in a Super Bowl.
The biggest, he's part of the biggest regular season comeback and part of the biggest Super Bowl comeback. Bless his heart. Again, I'm gonna say this like I've been repeating this since the Super Bowl.
He doesn't play all the positions.
I'm not putting all the blame on Matt Ryan. I'm 100%. I'm always gonna put a lot of blame on the defense because the defense is who's getting scored on. I'm gonna put at least 65% of the blame on the defense because if you can't force 3 more field goals, I'm not asking you to get stops. I'm saying force a field goal. Don't just let go get 6 on your head, my boy. 6. Rip him. Throw something. Dang. I'm trying to. Come on, D. These cornerbacks, y'all got to get a stop. I don't care if you got to pinch a butthole. Do something. Do something.
Somebody need to edit that part out.
Again, right? But then it also comes to coaching. Matt Ryan wasn't good enough. I mean, he hasn't been a good quarterback all season, so it's like whatever. By the grace of God, they were up 33. They just couldn't hold it. And I'm not gonna put the blame totally on him. He does have part to blame, and it was hideous to watch, man. It was hideous to watch. I felt bad for him. Matt Ryan has got to be like, I don't know how he goes back to Sarah and the twins that evening to be like, baby, it happened.
Yo, if she a good wife, she kissed his pet, bro. It's all dead, bro.
She put his head on her shoulder, and she said, "Matt, baby, you still got $45 million.
we gonna spend it this summer."
Right.
Yo, I mean, the way I look at it, though, and I understand Matt Ryan is not on special teams. He's not on defense, blah, blah, blah. But, for the most part, the quarterback is the leader of the team. They get all the praise. They get all the blame. And so, it's just one of those. It's just one of those. You just got to live with it. Like,
unless you're the Broncos in the 2015 Super Bowl, I'm just saying.
I mean, okay, so fine. Let me for the most part. For the most part, the quarterback gets the love, they get the blame. I mean, and that's just what it is, man.
It is what it is.
Jig, any words on that game?
I feel like we can do that and be hyperbolic, but we're smart enough to understand that it's never just the quarterback.
No, of course not. It's not just a quarterback. There's so many pieces. There's so many pieces.
That's I'm good. That's all I need right there. That's it.
So
what else?
I'm gonna say we talked about the most surprising comeback. Let's talk about this ridiculousness that we watched at the Patriots and the Raiders game.
I love it, bro. I call it collateral damage.
Collateral damage.
It is quite frankly the ugliest. Like, you expect, right, at the end of a close game, hey, we're gonna have to try to hook and ladder and then lateral this thing into a situation where we can get down and score. We can try.
No.
In a lot of it's not a surprise. This happens. People do this. Granted,
Kent, that happens when it's not a tie game.
No, that's fair.
It was 24-24.
It was tied up.
Go to overtime.
It was
in their heads, they probably thinking, hey, we could maybe sneak one off.
Look, it wasn't a bad play call. Let me tell you where it got bad, right? So we're going to run through it. If I can remember, right? Running back gets the ball. He hits the hole, gets a couple yards. He's about to get tackled. He laterals to the receiver to his right.
Bing.
Right?
Yes.
Bing. And then, was it him that threw the 50-yard bomb back?
Yes. He curled
where the play went. That's where the play went bad. That's where the play went bad. He threw the interception that caused Mac Jones to get the stiff arm of his life.
Yo, Chandler Jones put a whole 2 palms on his.
And my thing is, right, if we call this in the huddle, we know what's about to happen. Where are the receivers? Where is everybody who's supposed to be downfield?
Because that wasn't the play, bro. I guarantee. Let me tell you.
It looked like they were just trying to run the clock out, and then they should have just took.
Let me tell you. I'm telling you from what I'm pretty sure the coaches said. Hey, all right, there's 6 seconds left. We're just gonna run the ball. That's why they ran a draw. That's a safe play. That's a safe play. They ran a draw. That's something you run on 3rd and 30. When it's 3rd and 30 and you don't want to do nothing retarded, you just live for the next down. Okay.
Yep.
Run a draw. He just so happened to get more yards than anticipated. That's where it went wrong. From my view, I think when the running back was like, dang, I just broke for like 20. Let's just keep going. The time is gone. So he goes, once he pitches it back, he pitches it back to the receiver. I think the receiver just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He wish he had nothing to do with this play. Because
it just went down.
The rest of the team was not ready for no lateral, all of that stuff. They wasn't ready for that.
They sure wasn't.
Everybody in their mama know you run the ball, it goes 0-0, you give yourself a chance in overtime. That's all it is, bro.
Right.
Yeah, man, especially now the overtime rules are a little bit more fair and you're going to get a chance.
Yes, you're going to get a chance. As long as you stop them from getting an actual touchdown, you should be okay. You should be all right.
And this is how you knew, like, everybody on the field knew, like, okay, they're going to try and run the ball, and that's it. Because Chandler Jones was still next to Mac Jones. He wasn't downfield trying to stop.
Yeah, he wasn't even trying.
He was back there chilling.
He was not hustling.
So he saw the crowd yelling, like, what the hell's going on? And then he sees this brown dot heading his way. And he's like, oh.
He said, oh.
That man turned into a receiver in a heartbeat.
Right. Caught it.
He probably had a whole conversation with Matt, like, hey, man, after the game, we'll probably go do dinner or something like that. We probably chill.
Right.
We're going to get y'all the OT. We're going to get y'all the, oh.
So, ironically, the Patriots have been on, this past weekend, they were on the bad side of it. But some years back, they were on the good side of the most famous butt fumble. What's worse, fellas?
This worse. The butt fumble? No, the butt fumble isn't that bad. He literally ran into his teammate.
You ran into another grown man's buttocks.
But the man was supposed to make a hole for him to run through.
The buttocks. When last time you bumped into another grown man's buttocks?
I don't do that kind of stuff.
I'm saying,
when's the last time you bumped into another man?
I haven't never aghast in my life. Never.
Yo, I'm a break the tie. Collateral damage.
Collateral is
worse, bro. It is way worse.
He threw it because this is a mishap. The butt fumble was embarrassing.
This not embarrassing, bro.
There's nothing more. There's nothing more embarrassing than having your whole chin in another man's buttocks on national television.
I mean, yes, that's trash. Yes, but the Jets was already getting smacked. That was just a cherry. This one cost. It was the game.
I don't know, man. I feel like if I had to choose, it
was the game.
Who is that? Who's that on the Patriots? It's bad for the Patriots as a team.
Yes.
Okay. I'd rather be part of something that looks bad on me as a team than a single individual who had his own chin in another man's butt on national television.
That was a slip up, man. This was on purpose.
No, Eddie just explained it. This was a slip up too because it's supposed to be halfback draw.
No. The receiver chose to throw that.
He didn't choose to receive that.
And then you know what? I think if you go watch the butt fumble, it looked like it was a miscommunication on the play itself. I think Sanchez was expecting the running back to be somewhere, and he wasn't, so he tried to improvise.
Yep.
And unfortunately,
that's what happened. The running back improvised, and then he lateral to the receiver.
But they were already getting bullied, bro. The Patriots was smacking them. So it was just another 7 points. This was for the game.
I'm gonna just say this. This is what we'll do. We'll put up something on the story, Sportscash Podcast on Instagram.
I like it. All right, man. That's like I said, it's the most wonderful time of the year, right? The NFL being such nice, kind-hearted people that they are, as they always play their games on Sundays, they gave it to the NBA. So, excuse me, the NFL games, they all going to be on Saturday. NBA Christmas games all are on Sunday. What games we got? At 12, we got my Knickerbockers and the Philadelphia 76ers. Ken, with some respect. 2:30, we got the Lakers versus LeBron and the Lakers versus the Dawn and the Mavs. Then at 5 o'clock, we got the Greek Freak versus them young boys in Boston. Wow. Then at 8 o'clock, we got Jiggy Ja, and the Grizzlies versus the Curryless Warriors. And then at 10:30, we got the Phoenix Suns and whatever they are versus the Joker and the Nuggets.
Sound like a bunch of trash to me.
How many teams are playing this Christmas are
above
not
500
securely locked into a playoff spot?
I mean, right now, bro,
Boston.
Only the Lakers and Mavs game are neither one of them in a playoff.
The Warriors?
The Warriors? I want to say they still are, but yes, they have been losing a lot, though. So
the Mavs are 10 seed. The Warriors are 11 seed. The Lakers are 12.
Well, everyone else. Everyone else.
Game of the day, which is respectively what it should be, is Boston and the Bucks. There's a 1-2 punch.
I agree.
MVP candidates all across the board. You got great coaches, great teams, great defenses, one-on-one guys, shooters everywhere. Like team chemistry. Both these teams been together for the last 4 or 5 years. The Bucks already have a championship. The Celtics were just in a championship, a finals appearance or whatever. Like that is the game of the day.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, y'all. Happy Hanukkah, y'all.
Well, that was easy. But I mean, it is the game of the day. I would say so. But we just can't hate on the other ones. To me, like
I'm not hating on them. I don't respect.
Hey, man. Shout out to
what, Jit?
To the Knicks, man. The Knicks been good basketball.
Been winning, man.
Was it 8 games or something like that?
8 games. Right now, we playing the Raptors. I don't know if we win in that one, but
hey, 8 games. The signing of Brunson has shown to be good. He's almost averaging 20 points in I think
he's averaging plus 20, but he's having an all-star little campaign.
Look, man, I tried to tell y'all last year when I was campaigning, like, come on over to the Knicks, man. I like your game. Nice. It's always Philly. I just don't like how they play. So Knicks.
You don't like anywhere James Harden is.
I don't like James Harden. Y'all notice how forgettable James Harden is? Like nobody even talks about James Harden for the last 2 years.
That's very true.
Besides the fact that he's been complaining about the teams he's on or whatever,
that's it.
He's been irrelevant. We
don't talk about his game at all no more.
Not at all, because it's trash, especially with them calling these walks now. He can't do them stupid things in the lane. I'm sorry for you.
He's been playing with legit, like he played with KD. It's like obviously,
right.
Nobody put him as the second best player on the team, and with Kyrie over there. So
I mean, so here's a counterpoint, I guess you could say. Can you say that maybe because when he decided to take that, that second man role? Because I mean, in Houston, it was him and then the rest of them, right?
He was the offense, yeah.
So when he decided to try to force his way to Brooklyn, he opted to be, plan B, plan C, matter of fact, with Kyrie, and then when he went to Philly, he opted to be plan B. So, I mean, could that be part of the reason why we don't hear much of James? Because he's really not the guy anymore that he was in Houston.
I mean, we still hear about the second guy, depending on the situation, right? Like, let's look at, we hear about Jalen. Yeah, we hear about Jalen. We hear about Kyrie for a lot of different reasons, but basketball is one of them. We hear about AD for a lot of reasons, but basketball is one of them. Klay Thompson. We hear about, you know what I'm saying? Like, we hear a lot about these second guys. I don't know who's number one in Phoenix, but we hear about Devin Booker and Chris Paul respectively. You know what I'm saying? Like, oftentimes you hear about the number two guy. You're always going to hear about the punch, the combo. You know what I'm saying? D-Wade, LeBron. Whichever one is first for you, congratulations. MJ, Scotty. Kobe, Shaq. We always
LeBron, Wade. I got you.
Right.
Your favorite player. But we don't hear about James Harden like that at all. And I mean, granted, we've been hearing, even when he was the guy, we heard a lot of these guys talking about dribble. The offensive.
I mean, no. But here, no. You see, I was cool with you until that, because you don't in Houston. You didn't like his play style. Like, I didn't like his play style. I didn't like watching him. But you can't deny that, hey, he was MVP in Houston. He was averaging damn near triple doubles, So I mean,
no, I'm not mad at none of that.
You may not like it. He maybe has shot 28 free throws a night.
Yeah, that's stats up there. 28 free throws.
Hey, I know. Hey, dude, like I said, I never enjoyed watching Houston basketball, while Harden was the guy. But it's like, we couldn't deny that.
There's a level of greatness
to it. He got buckets and he got other people buckets too. If we really looking at his stats, I guess, just, whatever. So, I mean, but I get you are right though. Like you hear of Robbins a little bit more than we've heard of Harden ever since his departure from Houston. And I think a lot of it is just, we've already seen the best that Harden has had to offer. He's on the decline. It's that simple. You can't. I mean, it hurt. I know. I didn't even feel right saying that, and I'm not a Harden fan. I mean, I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's just there. But like, we saw him grow from being that sixth man in OKC to being an MVP in Houston, and now we're seeing him on his way out of the league within the next some years or whatever it is. I mean,
I don't want to say he's on the decline. I think he's just not. He's not in a position where he hasn't been in a position where he's clearly the go-to guy. He hasn't been in that position for the last 2-3 years, right? So he's playing with Joel Embiid, who's an MVP candidate, who plays on both sides of the ball. There's no argument whether he's going to give you effort on defense. He's going to give you effort on offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be a perennial MVP candidate, a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate, maybe leading the league in blocks or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got that stature of guy, and James Harden, who scores a lot, because sometimes inefficient. He gonna get you some assists, and he might get you some rebounds, but he not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, all right, cool. He's a more productive Russell Westbrook.
So it's just
same.
That's
thing.
I don't even want to say that because Russell's been playing well off the bench this year.
I mean,
he has been playing pretty well.
I'm not gonna disagree with you.
He's been playing pretty well. So, all right, let's just say for that first game, James Harden is that player to watch. That's who we watching for that Philly New York game.
No.
Oh, we're watching for Joel Embiid.
Look, James Harden isn't nobody. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for Joel Embiid to turn up. I'm looking for Brunson to show up, Barrett to show up, and that's about it.
All right, let's go.
Leave out Tobias? You gonna leave out Tobias?
Tobias is the biggest, bro. He's a crook, bro.
He underperforms. He
underperforms too much, though. It's like, some people, like, you get to dab in them every, whatever. But Tobias is like consistently under the radar, bro. Like, it's wild to me, bro. But let's move on real quick. Let's the game 2. Who we watching out for? Lakers, Mavs. Definitely not AD, because he ain't suiting up for a while. So apparently he hurt his ankle. They said he hurt his ankle in midair, bro.
In midair, bro.
I was like, what?
He was playing too hard. He was playing too good. He should have died in that.
We called it too. We was like, how long is it gonna last? Was it like 10 days? 10 games,
yeah.
It
was unfortunate because you remember, I don't remember, I think a couple of our episodes ago, we were talking about how Anthony Davis found his way into the MVP conversation. And then Ken's was like, that ain't gonna last. But, I guess a part of me, I know Anthony's going to get hurt, but a part of me was hoping it's not going to last because he just may not be consistent, but be on the floor, my man, be on the floor. But that's not his ammo.
Nah, we Don to give buckets, James to show out, Westbrook to show out, Dallas with the dub. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing Christmassy about that. No joy to the world coming from that game.
All right. Well, the biggest game that you wanted is Milwaukee-Boston. You got Tatum, you got Brown. What's it gonna be, man?
Everybody. I don't know. My money says
he was a betting man.
If I was a betting man,
but your religion,
Boston, but my religion won't allow me to wager those things until we get some advertising from Cash Kings or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say Boston, I think Boston will end up winning it. It'll be a close game. If everybody's healthy, I see Boston pulling it out, man. They just are so good. Granted, you don't have to try to stop a guy like Giannis every day. Fortunately, you get to play, I don't know, you get to play the Pacers a couple of times a year. But I want to say, I want the Bucks to win, though, if I'm being honest. I like Giannis. I like Middleton. I like Holiday. Yeah, I like both these teams. You know what I'm saying? I like both these teams. I'm 100 gonna I'm in support. I don't have the same feelings towards Boston that you New Yorkers have. I'm from Atlanta. I did hate Boston for a little while because
Grady, baby.
Hey, shout out, goddamn. Clayco Finest outside up in there, big goddamn. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm just saying, for me personally, Boston, man, and I feel like it's gonna be a good game, man. I feel like these guys are gonna throw haymakers at each other all night. It's gonna be great defensive plays. Like I'm excited about this game. This is my.
It is a rematch of the Eastern Finals, correct?
Yeah. That's what I just said. This is my Eastern Conference Finals. If this year, next year, let's go. Let's do it again.
A healthy finals, hopefully, man. I just wish Boston was in Maine or something, the Maine Celtics or something like that. That way I could really root for them. But they're in Boston, and I can't go for it. Man.
I ain't never hear something like that, bro. The Maine Celtics.
The
Rhode Island Celtics.
Rhode Island, I would have been cheering for them, man, because I like Tatum. I like Brown. I like what they got. I like their team, actually, man. The team is well built.
Same.
They got a nice team over there, but again, fuck Boston, man.
They got a lot of coachable guys. Very important. They got a lot of coachable guys.
That's actually very crucial for real, because not all the biggest names take coaching well. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Tatum, Brown, and they adjusted with that whole coaching carousel they had going on.
Exactly.
Think about it. 2 years ago they had what was that white guy name again?
Brad. Was it Brad?
Brad. Yeah,
Stevens.
something. Yeah, Brad Stevens. Then then they go to Udoka. Udoka has his scandal thing going on. Now they got this young guy. So I mean, and
they right back in the thick of things. Just
they're
elevate.
still always there. So that's a testament to them being very coachable, and they're just good players, bro.
Yeah, man, a bunch of mature basketball-minded guys. They brought Al Horford back. He's been great for them. You know what I'm saying? I think Robert Covington is still hurt.
Robert Williams. I think he just came back, but I think he's on limited
minutes,
clock management or whatever.
But still, they're still playing great. Imagine if they could find a way to get him 100% healthy, and they could run him for the rest of the season into the playoffs. Like he's a great 5 in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't need a lot of touches. He's gonna play defense. He's gonna get putbacks. He's gonna get offensive rebounds. He's gonna do all the things that you need him to do in the position that he's in. And they're doing that right now without him. They're playing well right now without him. You know what I'm saying? So you add his ability to switch, his ability to defend on the perimeter and to defend in the post. Like, oh my God.
So the next game, Malika Andrews is interviewing this young man, and she says, "What team do you feel?" And I'm paraphrasing. "What team do you feel is in your way?" This young man says, "The Celtics."
Yeah, who are you watching?
Who are you watching for?
The West.
He bypasses every team in the West, and he plays in the West, and is already looking forward to playing the Celtics in the finals.
Then she tried to make me specify. She said, anybody in the West?
I'm straight on that.
Big low.
Yo, I loved it. Ja Morant, man.
Talk to him, Ja. Big low.
Yo, Ja Morant and them Grizzlies, they're heading to the Bay Area to go play the Warriors. The Warriors are pretty depleted right now. So, I mean, I'm just going to assume that the Grizzlies can take that. But Ja Morant, man, I love, you mentioned it earlier, Ken. It's not about a market thing. I just love how Ja put Memphis on a map. He
put him on the map.
He talks that talk. And, most of us are not picking them to win the championship. But you just love the tenacity that he brings out of this whole team. They're well coached up. I mean, it's a bunch of just guys. We don't really know the guys on the Grizzlies like that.
I know some names. Desmond Bain.
But they're not. Let me say, they're not household names. No. They're not all stars that you're looking for by any chance.
But you know what? The other thing is, Ja Morant believes in those guys, right? Like he believes in his squad so much, and that's one of the things that makes me, even though there's a crazy compilation about how Ja travels and carries so much.
I seen it, bro. It was hilarious.
God dang, Ja, put the ball down, baby. But like he won Most Improved Player last year, and he gave it to one of his teammates, man. Like he's got the temperament and the mentality of one of the guys. Like I remember one time, I remember one time we was playing basketball, right? When we was all on the same team together. Y'all might not notice about us, but we used to hoop. And we was playing, and I think Jig was like, "Kids, throw me the oop." We was coming down on the fast break. I had no business on the fast break. I'm not fast. But we coming down the aisle, we coming down the court, whatever. Jig says, "Throw me the oop." I threw that one thinking Jig is about to go out there and dunk this thing because I know Jig got this. And I hit a 3.
On that note, somebody play my exit music.
Hey, that happens, baby.
Yo, we'll do this again next time. Happy holidays.
Believe it.
Love y'all boys, man. Be good, all right?
Peace.